Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and well, I'm not in the car heading out on an adventure just yet. Actually, it's evening, and tomorrow morning I'm going to head out on the last of the adventures that I need to put this video together. Now, this video has been in the works for a couple of years. 2019 wasn't a great year for me. I didn't get a lot of traveling done. I wanted to do a lot of traveling, but things just came up. We had a very long springtime here in Utah, or a very late winter, however you want to put it, but it was wet, soggy, and cold up until, almost June. So I didn't get out much. And then 2020 comes along, and who thought all the crazy things would happen in 2020? So it was hard to get out to all the places I really wanted to visit. I wanted to be able to bring you a good quality video of some of the old cars that are hanging around the junkyards here in Utah. And we did that video a couple of years ago, and some of that material was dated. Some of that had been video that I had shot or pictures that I had shot, a few years before. So I wanted to go back and revisit those places and maybe hit a couple of new ones. Well, we did. We finally got to some of those places. And unfortunately, we found that it's just not the way it used to be. Just a few short years, and a lot of those cars that were out there are, boom, they are gone. They were either crushed or they were sold off to collectors if somebody was lucky enough to get some of those. And in some cases, in one lot, I got to tell you, they had some great stuff. And I'm a big Mustang and Cougar guy. They had some great Cougar stuff, and unfortunately, it all got crushed. Yeah, because of land developers coming in and some other rules that were made here in the state that didn't conform to having, actual junkyards. Now we have these salvage yards that they have a car in there for 30 days and then they gotta go crush it. So, the days of the junkyard here in Utah are, quickly going away. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to hop in that Mustang. We're going to go to some of these places. We're going to visit some of the ones we did from the video a couple of years ago. And there's a new one in there too that we didn't do before. And we're going to kind of update you. And keep in mind, I'm going to keep doing these from time to time. As I find old cars in wrecking yards and around here in Utah, we're going to put stuff together and show you folks. So join us today for the old cars in the junkyards of Utah 2020 update. Well, we're going to start out on kind of a sad note. So this is one of my favorite places. It was Cal Brown's junkyard. He owned a towing company just off of Interstate 215 and California Avenue. He had a lot of great Mustangs and things in here. Anyway, Cal passed away a few years ago, and the whole place, well, here's what it looks like now. All those old cars have been wiped out and gone. Man, I missed my chance because some of that stuff he was willing to sell for about $250 a piece, some of the Cougars and Mustangs. So off to another downer. This is in Grantsville, Utah. Remember this picture from my video a couple of years ago of these Cougars lined up this great big yard out in Grantsville, and this belongs to a guy named Dennis McBride. Now, McBride's Auto Wrecking, you can see in this overall picture down at the bottom there's kind of a hangar and a house, and that's important. But look at how sprawled out this beautiful place was. There was all kinds of really neat stuff there. My first video, a lot of good pictures taken there. Originally, the place was the old Grantsville Airport, and there's that hangar back when it was an airport. Well, anyway, a few years ago, he had this really nice little gas station that he had moved and restored and put there right next to his house on the property. And you can see the wrecking yard there in the background. Well, unfortunately, I went out there recently, and homes have taken over the entire area. Here's all that's left. You can see the hangar in the picture, and a line of about 15 old cars right there at the edge of his property. Of course, he does still have this, it looks like a 64 Galaxy 500 two-door. That's kind of neat. But Dennis, great guy, and he was willing to sell stuff, complete cars back in the day, so we're really going to miss him. So we're headed back to the west side of Salt Lake City to 4400 West and 700 South. And you can see 4400 West here in front of me. A place called Rio's, and I don't know, Rio's Recce, I don't know what it is, but anyway, the guy has a pallet shop here where he collects pallets and repairs them, buys them, things like that. In this overhead view, you can see 4400 West there on the very far left and the little pallet area that he's got. Well, this guy has a bunch of really, really cool old things in there. I've seen a GTO Judge in there before. I have seen a 68 Cougar Burgundy with leather interior in there. A bunch of other really cool old things. But in this overhead, one of the things that you see is he's got a General Lee. Yeah, there's a bunch of old Chargers in there. I've sold him a 72 Charger that I had once, but you can see this this 69 General Lee that he purchased from a guy in West Valley City a few years back. Anyway, here's the problem with Rio. He's one of these guys, he's not going to sell anything to you because he's going to build it all someday, you know. He's goes by the name Muscle Car Rio. Well, guess what? His pallets caught on fire one day, and that fire whipped through his wrecking yard. You can see in this picture, the very bottom on the left-hand side, there used to be an enclosure there, and that enclosure had, I believe, GTO Judge in it, and just completely torched that. So a lot of his old cars, in fact, most of them, were destroyed in a fire. Really sad, really, really sad. Some great pieces that were in there, and they are just now completely trashed because of this fire. And well, as I call it, because of arrogance. It's really too bad he wouldn't sell things to people and get them out there in circulation. Here's a view, the gates open, and look down in there and see all that charred crap. So just a really, really sad event. Okay, so on to something happier. We are at VNR Old Car Parts, the name of the place, and it's on 770 West 17th Street. And I say it's up in Ogden, North Ogden, but it's actually in a place called Marriott Slaterville, which is North Ogden, Utah. Anyway, I went there with my friend Dave. We were looking for some parts for his Nova, and check out that video when you get a chance, the Nova he brought home. Anyway, the first thing out of the gate, there's this GT37 Pontiac Tempest in there. Holy cow. Of course, it's got signs all over. No parts, you know, no sale, you know, that kind of stuff. I think one of the people who worked in the yard actually had purchased. So now we're just going to kind of take a walk through the yard. Here's a door for 67, 68 Cougar sitting there. They had a bunch of good Ford stuff. Looks like a four-door 56 Chevy, if I'm not mistaken, in there. Lots of, even has the front end on it still. What was that, a Pontiac Tempest, like a 72, 73. Ah, good old Plymouth Gold Duster. Yeah, they had some dusters there, a couple of gold dusters. Of course, pretty picked over, as you can see. But yeah, there's some pretty good stuff there in the Dodge Plymouth section. Hey, check this out. This big old meat sitting there on a Krager SS. This was kind of fun. This is a Granite School District maintenance van. And what's so ironic about this is Dave works for Granite School District, and Granite School District is about 40 miles to the south of where we found this. So we found that very, very interesting. Check out the 69 Mustang there in the foreground. So we're kind of in the Ford section here, and here is an old Falcon with 4 good 4-bolt slotted dish mags. Yeah, that's nice. There was a few Falcons in here, probably enough to build one good one. Here's a Nova that's pretty well stripped out, and nothing really left of that Nova. But Vega, a few other things in the Chevy pile. Not a whole lot of stuff in the Chevy pile, but there was a few good things. Dave really didn't find anything that would work for his car, though. Here's a Maverick that's fairly intact. Hey, check out this old Ford. Neat old convertible, retractable top. That's neat. Ooh, check out the Thunderbird. Some good T-Bird parts here. Ah, Cougars, my love, my love. Plenty of Cougar parts in there, 67, 68. Hey, check out this this Camaro from the 80s. Pretty neat wrecking yard. Pretty picked over too, but hey, check out these seats. This is what we went up there to look for, some seats for that Nova, but they weren't going to work for what we wanted. There's an old Chevy too. Oh wow, wow, that really goes back. Wooden wheels. Wow. Recently, I took a trip down to central Utah and I passed this huge wrecking yard on I-70. This is again in the central Utah area. Stopped down in Richfield, which wasn't too far from where I saw that wrecking yard. Sat down, had a nice sandwich there at Subway. You can see what a beautiful area this is. Well, this wrecking yard, you can see this thing is massive. It's located in a place called Sigurd, and it's called Dwight's Auto Wrecking. And you see the address there. Sigurd isn't too far from Richfield. And there's the hours and the phone number, all that kind of good stuff. So if you want to check them out. But look at this. Man, this place is massive. And they let me in, no problem. Told them I was looking for some Mustang parts, and they said, sure, go right ahead. So, wow. So let's see what's in here. I did not go all over this place. I've been here before. But see some of the interesting things. Yeah, there's lots of little creeks and stuff in here. That was kind of fun. Looks like about a 72 Cougar that's pretty well picked over, pretty beat. Look at this old Barracuda. Yeah, again, pretty picked over. Ah, looks like a 61, 62 Falcon four-door. Pretty neat. Some other Fords in here. Got a Mustang. Those pretty picked over. Hey, look at this, though. This Maverick. That's in pretty good shape. You know, it's always fun to climb around these stacks of old cars. Never know what you're going to come across. SS 396. Of course, you know, pretty well picked over, but still, got to be cool. Looked at this a little bit closer and saw that it had a bench seat, and Dave might be interested in that for his Nova, so I'll let him know. And check this out, a two-door Caprice. They got a fenced-off area here, and I got a picture of that from the old days, but here's what's currently there. Ranchero. Might be of some interest. Huh. Oh, check out this Nash Ambassador. Oh, wow. Oh, here's some Chrysler parts. In fact, that might be worth salvaging. And this one, four-door, looks like a 66 LTD with a 390. Could be wrong. This looks like a 63 Mercury Comet, and it's a two-door with it's a V8 also, and it's a stick shift on the floor. I talked to these guys, and you know what? They would be willing to sell this vehicle, $3,000, and it does run. Somebody had taken the instrument cluster out. They caught them. They put it back in, so it's been spliced back in, but you know, needs some fresh gas in it. But you know what? $3,000, baby. This could be yours. So this is the place where a few years ago we stopped by, and in this fenced off area they had a couple of nice Mopars, an old, looked like about a 70 Camaro, like a 73 Roadrunner. There was like a 69 GTO with a real funky paint job on it. You know, a few little nice goodies like that. Well, now they are gone. Now they are gone. But in this fenced off area, they've still got this Galaxy XL. And look at this T-Bird. And well, I'm not sure what that other one is. So in the background here, you see an old truck, actually a couple old trucks. That's pretty neat, and they're complete. This reminds me of my grandma's old 50 Chevy that she had. Topless Continental, that's interesting. Anyway, here's another pretty complete Thunderbird. And why I'm so interested in these Thunderbirds nowadays? Well, I got a line on one that was at one of the places I visited a while back, and I've been kind of working on the folks and working on the folks. This beautiful convertible here in that beautiful gold color that my first Cougar was in. So we'll see. I'm trying to get this thing acquired, and we're negotiating. We'll keep you informed on that. So now we're going to hop on down the road just about 6 miles or so to to this little place here called Aurora, Utah. Now this is the big, huge wrecking yard that I got all of those Charger parts out of, and there was a 71 Demon there, and so many other really cool things over the years. They'd let you just go in, but last time I was there a few years ago, they were a little bit hesitant, but I was able to let them talk me into going in. Well, it's called Ellis's Country Auto Salvage, and it's you see the address there in Aurora, Utah. And here's an overhead of how it used to be. Absolutely, I mean, look at this thing. It's flipping huge. So many cool things in there. But they wouldn't let me in this time. And asked them about some of those old cars, and nope, they said they'd all been gone. They'd all been crushed, or they'd all been sold. So I don't know what the truth was, but anyway, I couldn't even get in there anymore, which was really sad. So when I got back out to the car, I drove to the west end of the property, and where the fence wasn't, and you kind of see this area here. Yeah, there's a couple of older, like 4-door Chevys in there, but for the most part, it's newer type stuff. And this was all old. This is the old Ford section, so I can see that, yeah, they got rid of the old cars, which really sucks. It's really too bad. So now we're going to leave central Utah, and I had an opportunity to head out west to a place called Wendover. I needed to do a video shoot for a museum, some friends of mine out there at the Air Museum. So we're going to head across the Salt Flats. Well, here I am at the Wendover Museum. It's in the old Officers Club. See the tower in the background. We're going to go check out some really cool stuff while we're here, so stick with us. Right across the street from the Air Museum, there's this building, and look at all these cars out there. Oh, I see a Firebird. I see some El Caminos. Ooh, look at that Continental. Hey, another Camino. I'm going to have to stop and take a look. But here's the thing. Well, there's signs everywhere. Stay away from the cars. Keep away. You see this sign here. Real crotchety old guy that owns all of this stuff, and I've heard a lot of rumors about it. So you got a Firebird, you've got a 69 Camaro there, you've got there's like a 67, 68 Mustang there, but there's a bunch of other stuff too, and there's some stuff in the back. So just check it out on Google Earth when you get a chance. But if you're ever out in Wendover, yeah, stay away from this. Do not try and contact this guy. You will regret it. But they did have this really cool old boxcar from the Western Pacific, so wasn't a total loss. Anyway, folks, we'll keep you updated on what else we find. Thanks for joining us.